His real name was Ralph Lifshitz, and kids at school made fun of him for it constantly. So at 16 years old, he and his brother legally changed their last name to Lauren, just like that. He picked it because it sounded sophisticated, like the kind of name a rich kid would have. Funny thing is, he wasn't rich at all. He was a poor Jewish kid from the Bronx whose dad painted houses for a living, and this is the guy who eventually built a $20 billion fashion empire. Ralph grew up in a tiny apartment in the Bronx in the 1940s. His family didn't have money at all, but even as a little kid, Ralph was obsessed with how rich people dressed. He used to watch old movies and stare at actors like Cary Grant, just studying how they looked, how they carried themselves. He'd save up whatever money he made from odd jobs and spend it on clothes instead of anything else. While other kids were buying candy, Ralph was buying ties. After high school, he tried college for a bit. Quit after a few months, honestly didn't even finish a full year. Then he went into the army for 2 years. When he got out, he needed a job, so he took one as a sales assistant at Brooks Brothers. Just folding shirts and helping customers. Nothing glamorous. But here's where it gets interesting. Ralph eventually landed a job at another tie company called Beau Brummel, and he had this idea. At the time, every tie in America was thin, dark, boring. Ralph wanted to make wide, colorful ties, completely different from everything in stores. His bosses thought he was insane, but he convinced them to let him try it anyway. So he made his line of ties and called it Polo, just because he liked the sport. He had zero design background, zero manufacturing experience. He just had a vision and the guts to push for it, and it worked. Those ties sold over $500,000 worth in the first year alone. In an industry where everyone was doing the exact same boring thing, Ralph showed up doing the opposite and stores couldn't get enough of it. By 1967, he started his own label. He was working out of a literal drawer. Not an office, not a showroom. A single drawer in a building in the Empire State Building. He'd make the ties, pack them up himself, and personally deliver them to stores around Manhattan. The guy who would eventually dress Robert Redford in The Great Gatsby was doing his own deliveries by hand. In 1968, he expanded into a full clothing line, still under the name Polo. Ralph basically invented the concept of a designer having their own space inside a department store. Then, in 1971, something happened that changed the whole brand. He put a small polo player logo on the cuff of a woman's shirt. Just a tiny detail. Nobody expected it to matter, but people loved it. By the next year, he put that same logo on a colorful cotton shirt and released it in basically every color you could think of. That shirt became the polo shirt, the one everyone still owns today. That one piece of clothing with that tiny logo on the chest became one of the most recognizable pieces of clothing in the world. From there, it just snowballed. Fragrances, home goods, stores all over the world. By the 90s, people were spending over $5 billion a year just to own something with his name on it. The kid who got bullied for his last name built one of the most aspirational brands on the planet. He once said something that stuck. People ask how a Jewish kid from the Bronx ended up designing preppy clothes, and his answer was, maybe because I didn't have it, I always reach for it. That's the whole story right there. He sold a dream he never lived but always wanted, and it turned into one of the biggest fashion brands in history. If you want more stories like this, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.